Manbashing from UrbanDictionary.com. A female who expresses a great deal of resentment toward the opposite sex, commonly found in sorority groups. They tend to emit sexist comments and promote their superiority over males. Man-bashing. Feminism perceived as discrimination against or unfair criticism of men. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maticus Valentine Cole, and happy Monday. For a while I think on Mondays is going to be the day that I decide to do serious social commentary, because on Monday it's depressing as hell anyway, so we might as well, right? Alrighty guys, well listen, this is going to be, hopefully this will be informative, because this is something that has been on my mind recently, and the reason why I'm doing this is not one but 9 poets from Instagram, 3 of which were women, asked me to talk about this particular issue. And but I want to make this absolutely clear that this isn't just for women or feminists. This is for everybody. So without too much ado, let's kind of get down to it. Okay? And let's just go over just a few things that everybody knows, but not everybody tends to acknowledge. Okay? True. Some men have abused women, but not all men. True. Some men have disrespected women, but not all men. True. Some men in power who have devalued or denied your free rights. Also, those who are black, white, Latino, Asian, homosexuals, and most especially the poor. And men fall into those categories too. So men get the blunt end of that stick as much as anybody else does sometimes. But not all men in power do this. Some actually try to not only speak about what's right, but actually do it. Rare it seems, but no less true. Right? True. Some men have hit women, but not all men. And in fairness, some women hit men too. Some women also hit other women too. Are you seeing a pattern here? Some men think less of women, but not all men. And in fairness, some women think less of men and other women too. Wow. Go to most Instagram or Twitter feeds of known feminists or strong women and see if you don't find at least 5 or 6 stupid ass jokes or memes that speak of the flaws, weakness, inferiority, and worthlessness of men. Way to bring us together, guys. Ladies, whoever. True. Some men are not as smart as women, but not all men. Some of the most brilliant minds in contemporary and in history have been men. Brilliance and genius don't discriminate which mind it lives in, nor does truth discriminate what mouth it comes from. The problem with today's society is because I made that statement, some people will also make the argument that I'm also saying that women are not as smart as men. I didn't say that. I said that some men are smarter than some women, and that there is evidence of brilliance in a male mind. Okay? The reason why I'm doing this is because I've seen a trend that swells and ebbs every few months with posts on Instagram and tweets and videos where strong women are taking pretty aggressive stands, not against specific men, but all men. Women who follow me have done this, and in my opinion, that's not cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do or to feel, and because of that, I feel like I do have the right to tell you how I feel. Now, I've said nothing untrue, and it would be impossible to discount anything I've said with any kind of true and honest, unbiased facts. Facts. Not political idealism, not agenda, but simple facts. And I'm also going to say this, that it is rare that most men will even talk about this sort of thing. Why? Because they're afraid to. They're afraid that they're going to be descended upon by feminists, super liberals, people who are more concerned about speaking loud than speaking truthfully. And sent on like a rabid piranha and just eat them alive for even suggesting the fact that any man anywhere could be as equal to or superior to a woman in any way, shape, or form. Earlier I said that a couple of men asked me to do this try to do this commentary. Two of them actually said something very, very interesting, which was that they had both had been in relationships where they were physically abused by their partner. And I have at least one follower who said that she was a victim of incredible physical abuse by her female partner. Domestic violence is an important issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to discuss that in another video, but it is not strictly a man-on-woman issue. But it's definitely a more publicized issue because A, it's not a sexy news story, and two, many men simply choose not to report it because there is a stigma in society when a man admits that he gets beat up by a girl, you know. And most of the times, and in fairness, the reason why they get beat up is because they don't fight back, because they can't. Because no guy can go in front of a judge and say, yes, Your Honor, I did hit her back only because I felt that my safety was in jeopardy, and I'm 6'1" and she's 5'4". See what I mean? Now, this is a very serious issue when it comes to man bashing, and I don't want to spend all day ranting about it because I think it pretty much speaks for itself. Anyone who's on social media has seen the memes and the jokes and all that crap of where women have made a very specific point to say that they don't need men. They have no value in men. Men don't feel. Men have no worth. Men have no voice. Men should just shut the hell up and do as they're told. Stuff like that. And although this is not 100% true of these women, but more than a few of them have also done posts where they've said, I can't find a good man. Well, typically most human beings, not just men but women too, don't want to have a partner who's got very strong opinions on the on the value of their worth. I don't believe that a man necessarily has to be in charge of a relationship, and I most certainly do not believe that women need to be in charge of the relationship. I think that they need to be partners, which I think seems incredibly crucial in most relationships. If you're not being a partner, then you're being a subordinate, and what subordinate is ever happy living out under any kind of management? Whether it's personal or professional. Not many, if any. Okay? But because it is so prolific and it seems like a trend that seems to be growing in its intensity as things go on, I think it's important that people do speak about it, but speak about it appropriately. In my opinion, all women do not do this. And in fact, I'm not even going to go so far as to say that's an opinion. I think that's a fact. Not all women do this. Some women are cool as F. They're amazing. They are strong without being overbearing. They're intelligent. They don't throw shit in your face. They just love you and respect you and really just want someone to love and respect them back. You know what, honey? That is cool. That is awesome. I am on board and I will fight for your goal to have that in your life because everyone deserves that. Not just you, but me and everybody else that I know and everybody else that they know. That is a common goal. We all want someone who's going to love us, respect us, and see a person and not a means to an end. And all by that same token, we need to also recognize that we are all a giant family. And oh my God, Matt, let's break out the s'mores and the kumbaya with this peace, love, and hippie bullshit. But this is not bullshit. This is a fact. It's a philosophy more than it's a fact, because the reality of our situation is no matter how many people like me talk about this or how many people rail against the machine, people are going to do what they're going to do. And why? Because nothing adverse happens to them because of it. But is that true? I happen to know quite a few men who have possessed unhealthy animosity towards women. These men are also lonely. These men are bitter. These men are hateful, spiteful. And no woman wants to be with a man who is like that, no matter how charming they are, or how rich they are, or how successful they are, how good of a provider they can be. If they know in the back of their mind that this man does not value them, why would anyone want that? And therefore, they're alone. And the same thing holds true for women. Girls, ladies, my goddesses. If you want to find a good man, you've got to look at criteria beyond the six-pack of their abs, beyond how much money is in their bank account. You want to see how much money or how much gold is in here, is in their heart. You want to know how much platinum is in here, is in their mind. You want to see the diamond in their soul. You want to see the value and the rarity. And let me tell you, there are good men out there. They're all over the place. I like to think that I'm one. Opinions may vary on that. I don't know. I can't say. What I can say is that there are good women out there who are trying to do what they can to promote a healthy and a healthy attitude that is conducive to a free and equal society, not just for themselves, but for everybody they know and for everyone they want to know. And there are men who want the exact same thing. I'm one of them. I want everyone to be free. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to have full access to the rights they have into their government. And if their government is not providing them with rights, then we as a people need to stand up and vote for the elected officials that will change it for the better for everyone. And if we're not doing that, then we can't complain. Okay? Also, when I rant, I get out of breath. Anyway, but also I think we need to, when we have the opportunity, be diplomatic with those who you see are not being healthy. Don't get me wrong, no one has the right to tell anyone what to do. No one has the right to tell me what kind of videos that I do, or to have the kind of opinions that I have, or use the kind of language that I use, etc., 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 etc. But I think the better voice is, let's say, for example, let's say they're on Twitter and someone does a man-bashing piece. Don't throw them out under the bus and tweet angrily and hostilely towards them. Aggression can do nothing but create more aggression. Peace can create peace. And just like no dog can give birth to a cat, nothing from anger can ever create anything but more anger or war. Okay? So, be the passive aggressive. Just unfollow them. I do it all the time. If I see someone that is doing a whole bunch of man bashing, this, or another, I just unfollow them. And I'll get DMs back saying, Matt, how come you unfollow me? And I'm like, and I'll be honest with them. It's like, I saw that you did 2 or 3 things on your post that I didn't like. And honestly, I don't want to be seeing that in my feed every once in a while. So I just unfollowed you. When you decide to stop doing that crap, I'll follow you again. No problem, because I love your work. And I do the same thing with people who promote anorexia, people who promote racism, people who promote chauvinism, feminism, racism, elitism, people who are not promoting attitudes and philosophies that I consider healthy or appropriate or are just fucking stupid. Sometimes people can just be fucking stupid. And I have zero patience for stupid. I don't have patience when I'm being stupid. Why would I have patience for you being stupid? So, I don't want to have that whenever I'm trying to be on social media and be entertained. That doesn't entertain me. It pisses me off. But I'm also going to say this. And I'm going to be very quick. I think people need to be more open about what it is that they like and what they find attractive and what they don't find attractive. Everyone has their type and everyone has their own personal taste, but not too many people really talk about it. But the reason, honey, my dears, if you're attracting men of a certain stripe and you're finding the qualities in them lacking, first consider where you're going to find these guys or how they find you. And if you don't want to keep getting mudfish, you got to go to a different pond. Or try Cheetos. I don't know. What is it about you that attracts people like this? And also, and I guarantee you this, and I'm going to say this to every single woman out there who is watching this, and I dare you to prove me wrong on this one. How many times have you actually met a guy who had a fantastic personality, who had everything that you wanted in as far as personality, sense of humor, soulful attitude, and just made you feel good just for being alive, but you put them in the friend zone and threw away the key because they were too poor, they were too fat, they were too white, they were too black, they were too short, they were too tall, they wore glasses, they like to wear braids in their hair, they wore an inordinate amount of pink for a straight guy, they wore an inordinate amount of lace, they were too much of a Democrat, they were too much of a Republican, they were too much of a Jew, they were too much of a Christian, they were too much of a Wicca, they were too much of a anything. The deets, that means nothing in the grand scheme, but they didn't fit your profile of perfection. This is one thing where guys actually do it better than women. How many times have you seen this really good-looking guy who had all the physical attributes that you could ever want in a dude, and you saw him hanging out with a woman that most people in society would say is unattractive or not cool or socially awkward or has resting bitch face or whatever the case, and you're thinking, how the hell did that get this guy? Well, she didn't give him any shit. She was happy that he was there. She was happy and made him feel good, made him feel wanted, valued, and loved. And it's the same thing. I've seen women who are statuesque and beautiful, a perfect 10 on any scale of 1 to 10. And they're with a dude who would not win second prize in the Mr. Leper contest. Why? Because she is more than what she looks like, and she actually found value in a soul that wasn't necessarily rich in wallet, but someone who was wealthy in soul. And I say, good on her. God damn, I scooped that up the good one. I've dated women who are both a perfect 10 and a strong 6. I don't think I've ever dated a 5 or under because I don't know how I would define a woman who is fine or under, because I really don't go by the scale of 1 to 10. But I'm simply saying that based on criteria of my friends and people that I know, I've dated women who are both insanely beautiful and insanely average. And the reason why my tastes are so diverse is because what I look at in a potential partner has very little to do with the body. It has everything to do with the attitude. If you've got confidence, to me, that's sexy. If you've got humility, that is sexy. If you kiss on the first date, that's insanely sexy. And also, when I'm checking out that ass, I'm not really checking out that ass. I'm simply checking to see if there's a stick in it. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Good visual, Matt. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for me. Guys, be kind to each other. Let's be nice. Let's try to be a little bit more. Let's try to be a little bit less of who we are and try to be a little more of who we want to be. If we can do that, then I think we'll be okay. Sorry for the length of the video, but this was an important topic and it needed to be talked about. Blah, 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 blah. But in the meantime, if you guys have any other questions or anything you want to say, put them in my comments below. Please give this video a like, I would appreciate that, and share it with those who think could benefit from it. But in the meantime, keep the shadows at your feet and forever out of your heart. I loves you. I appreciate you. Laters.